It's a fantastic Wednesday, and I welcome you to another fantastic edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozugbakun. On our radar today, British Prime Minister David Cameron describes Nigeria as a fantastically corrupt country. Long queues resurface at petrol stations barely 2 weeks after the situation eased off. So if you are ready, let the Hangout start now. Nigeria has been called many names by many people when it comes to corruption. A former US Secretary of State, General Colin Powell, once described Nigeria as a country of marvelous scammers. Oprah Winfrey said, all Nigerians, regardless of their education, are corrupt. Robert Mugabe once warned Zimbabweans not to be like Nigerians when it comes to corruption. Sadly, some Nigerians have proved this right. Now, yesterday, British Prime Minister David Cameron dropped a new catchphrase. He said, Nigeria is a fantastically corrupt. It's fantastically corrupt. But does David Cameron have the moral standing to call Nigeria a corrupt country when a British paper describes London as a financial center for the world's dirty money, and said David Cameron himself is guilty of epic hypocrisy? Can David Cameron call Nigeria a fantastically corrupt country when corrupt politicians start stealing funds in British banks and properties markets? Is corruption no longer a two-way thing? Babajide Kolade-Otitoju is willing to react to all this today, and I have my brother from another mother in the house, MJ. Moji Jami is also in the house.
It's a fantastic afternoon to you. Fantastic afternoon to our viewers.
We are fantastically ready for the program.
Okay, let's fantastically continue. Okay, let's see. Now, we are journalists here, so my critical mind, the first thing that what happened, that particular information wasn't meant for the public. It was just something between the Queen of England and the British Prime Minister, and he was saying his mind, what he felt about Nigeria and Afghanistan. Jide, take it up from here.
It was a demonstration of verbal recklessness on the part of David Cameron. And David Cameron must be one of the most hypocritical world leaders, because his own family has a history of corruption. I think the whole world knows that already. With the Panama leaks, his dad was mentioned, well mentioned, in the Panama leaks affair. And it is clear that when it comes to full disclosure, David Cameron has not demonstrated that he is one leader that has told the Britons the whole truth about his assets. So he's the same man now, branding Nigeria as fantastically corrupt. First and foremost, we are not saying that Nigeria is not corrupt, but Cameron must be suffering from acute ignorance to lump Nigeria with Afghanistan when all the anti-corruption agencies in the world, the NGOs that track corruption across the world, does not list Nigeria among the most corrupt in the world. Nigeria is not even among the 20 most corrupt in Africa. Check it, because it's all over the internet. So the talk about Nigeria being corrupt is even exaggerated. Is China not corrupt? Is Russia not corrupt? Who does not know that President Vladimir Putin is corrupt? That he has used state resources to enrich his friends, to make his friends rich at the expense of the state. In fact, the U.S. The Treasury head of sanctions publicly granted an interview in which he described President Vladimir Putin as one of the most corrupt presidents alive. I'm happy that my own president was not so described, because the Archbishop of Canterbury said the current president of Nigeria is not corrupt and he is doing everything possible to defeat corruption. So I take that as one of the positives to emanate from the reckless statement that the Prime Minister of Britain made, because right there, as he was saying that to the Queen.
Okay, I want us to just see the video so that our viewers will get it firsthand.
We had a very successful cabinet meeting this morning. We were talking about our anti-corruption summit. We've got the Nigerians. We've got some leaders of some fantastically corrupt countries coming to Britain. Nigeria and Afghanistan, possibly the two most corrupt countries.
But this particular president is actually not corrupt. No, he's trying very hard.
They are coming at their own expense.
I mean, yes. It's going to be slightly, because it's an anti-corruption summit, everything has to be open. So there are no sort of closed-door sessions. It's all in front of the press. It could be quite interesting.
That's a particular dinner. MJ, I'll come to you, Jide. MJ, when you look at that kind of statement from people that are meant to be, or that's, you know, the British colony, and inviting President Muhammadu Buhari for a summit on corruption, and shows the kind of mindset. They might not come out like that to say it, but this is, you know, letting us into what is happening in the circle and the mindset they have for Nigerians.
As a student of public and international affairs, I mean, that's what we refer to as a diplomatic somersault. It's a diplomatic gaffe from Cameroon. One, he never knew that. I mean, the BBC was there recording. I mean, the BBC released that tape. He was debriefing the Queen, as we could all see, at a cocktail, holding a bottle of beer and discussing a glass. I think it's a glass of wine or beer, whatever it is that is holding, and making. I mean, like you said, I wonder.
Monkey tail.
A cocktail of monkey tail. Right? I wonder how he arrived at because the international best practice for the measurement of corruption is from Transparency International, and Nigeria is ranked, I think, 135 in the world now, whereas Afghanistan is second to the last. I mean, in the corruption index. So, for him to now
say we are among the best.
Yeah. So for him to group from 135 to about 600 and something, to number 2. I think Afghanistan is like number 2. Nigeria is 135. So for him to now compare number 2 to 135 is something that beats my imagination. But then, I think the best response I've received or I've had from President Muhammadu Buhari is the response to the diplomatic gaffe from Cameroon today. That
let's quickly take that response.
I'm not going to demand any apology from anybody. What I'm demanding is the return of assets. And I have already mentioned how Britain really led and how disgraceful one of the Nigerian executive was. He has to dress like a woman to leave Britain and leave behind his bank account and fixed assets, which Britain is prepared to hand over to us. This is what I'm asking for. What would I do with apology? I need something tangible.
Is affected by significant corruption. So yes, there are countries with fantastic levels of corruption, and some of them appear in the third world and in the poor part of our globe, but this would not happen with a complicit participation of the first world, developed countries, where that's all those monies in the case of Nigeria, 40% of the population living in poverty, and $150 billion left the country through illicit flows. Where did that money go? It went to the United States. It came here for property and lavishly lives of those that are under corrupt.
For the first time, I think I'm proud, to be a Nigerian, and the president, what the president just did and his reaction is, I will describe it as, fantastic, Jide.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want to join issues with,
He was even, the bit that I liked, the way he was.
Just
said,
give us the
what
cash.
am I going to do with apology? Just give me the money.
The money, because we are broke. We need it.
It's not, even if we are not broke, it's our money.
It's our money, yeah.
It's not about being broke, it's our money. Britain cannot, or the Cameron, the chameleon, cannot be calling us to that we are saying that we are among the worst 2 corrupt nations in the world. He can't say we are among the 2 most corrupt nations in the world. He cannot say that. Because on the basis of what did he arrive at his conclusions? When even in Africa, we are not among the 20 most corrupt. So it's a very responsible statement, and we got a very good response from our president. What I can say is that Britain is fantastically complicit in the stealing of Nigeria's resources. Because if you do not make your banks available, if your system does not permit the keeping of these slush funds in your country, there's no way that they will be running to your country to keep what they steal here.
And they are real estate
you are
people.
Fantastically complicit in the looting of our nation, and can be ashamed of himself.
It takes 2 to tango.
Yes, but it takes 2 to tango. You benefit from these slush funds. These slush funds are used to oil your own economy. So we should actually be complaining, because it amounts to a kind of neo-colonialism, that you allow people to take money from here and then you give them what they call a safe haven. All over Europe, people go to keep our money. We are not fighting them, but now they are insulting us and say, if we even want to say we are corrupt, yes, we agree we are corrupt, but to lie against us that we are among the 2 most corrupt in the world, it is either that he's suffering from acute ignorance or he's just plain mischievous.
Wow. MJ, let me try and play the devil's advocate here. We had the case of James Onanefe Bori. He was cleared in the Nigerian court and he was convicted in England. Joshua Dariye is still undergoing trial. He's a senator of the Federal Republic, but is wanted in the United Kingdom. And part of the testimony they gave last week, one of the witnesses said that dude actually bought a pen. Allegedly, he bought a pen for, £7,000. And going further, the late DSP Alemessia, although how he came back to Nigeria till date remain a mystery, because Alemessia himself did not tell us how he came back to Nigeria.
They denied that he didn't wear a woman's uniform.
I'm even saying somebody that was in detention, how he came back to Nigeria, however he came, but it's still a mystery.
No, he jumped bail. He was on bail. He couldn't have come out of their prison.
So when you...
Yeah, it was
bail.
It was on house arrest, just like Desiani now.
Okay. When you look at this, because Transparency International, they say corruption perception index. They have, it's like a perception, and the number. I just watched a report on Al Jazeera this afternoon. They actually took the reporter went to a street in London that in Nigeria, the wife of a Nigerian politician was said to have purchased a particular house for $8 million. In London. The story is running on Al Jazeera right now.
Yeah, you see, Ayo, if at times, if we blame Cameron for his being for that irresponsible statement, so I can say that categorically that statement is grossly irresponsible coming from somebody of that caliber. I mean, especially when your facts are wrong. I mean, it's an irresponsible.
It's trying to mislead an old woman like the Queen.
And you could see the expression.
Her
on
Royal
the,
Majesty.
Yeah, you could see the expression on the face of the Queen. I mean, and thank God that the Archbishop was there, who quickly quipped in that no, this president, the current president, is not a correct president. But then, it's characters like James Ibori, Alamesia, and Desiani that paints us in this kind of, I mean, that gives us away. Imagine. It was alleged, I mean, it was written, I mean, published by a British newspaper that Desianin actually bought a property for £12 million. It was supposed to run for a lease of 20 years, but immediately she left power, they were looking for ways of pushing or their looted funds. Allegedly so, the mortgage was suspended and £12 million was paid in a day. And that was what triggered the British authorities to investigate that transaction. They went to her house and found £47,000 cash on her and another maybe £57,000 on the mom. So that case is still in court as we speak. I think the next date for hearing is June. Alamesia, they found £1 million cash in his house. He was under house arrest, but in a womanly or manly manner, he arrived the shores of Nigeria before he died. James Ibori had a 254 count charge in UK, I mean in Nigeria here. He was freed of all those 254 count charges, and just 7 counts, he had to plead guilty in UK when they told him that, I mean, the British government had spent £10 million prosecuting that case, that the longer it prolongs,
jailed everybody around him.
That is it. So everybody, even the lawyer, and I think we're also getting to that in Nigeria now, the lawyer and the wife, we are getting to that in Nigeria, where a supposedly outspoken lawyer, I mean, Bunado Gorua was arrested yesterday by the EFCC. I mean, a property that was already in the EFCC custody since 2012. he is collecting rent on it. And for a lawyer that could be outspoken, I mean, those are the measures, those are the measurements that the Transparency International uses for to measure the anti-corruption index. And so, even if we fail on all these terms, like Jide said, it is Europe and the Americas that provide the soft ground for the safe haven for these looted funds to be kept. But for Cameron, I would recommend that he should go and read the book by Walter Rodney, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. Or if he finds that...
How his ancestors...
How his ancestors, yes, underdeveloped us in Africa. So maybe if he has a good grasp of what happened in that book, especially from the stolen crude oils from our oil wells, the ones the pirates steal. Is it Ayo that has a refinery somewhere? So where do they sell those crude oils to? Maybe millions of barrels of crude oil that is sold to them. And also, I mean, even slave trade is part of corruption. It is the sweats of Africans that they used in building all those their palaces. So what are they? What is he talking about?
I'm not even.
I'm so very happy with the response.
I have no issue with calling Nigeria a corrupt nation. I know my nation is corrupt, but
it shouldn't be for him.
You must have your facts, and we know that in the world today I have the top 10 based on the 2015 Transparency International report.
Okay, I think I have Richard. Richard is calling us from Lagos. Hello, Richard.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'd like to pinch my tent with the gentleman in your studio. I think President Muhammad Buhari for now has really done me proud. I think his response was mature, was fatherly, was a precedent. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't join issues. That's very, very, that's what I would say, fantastic reasoning. Having said that, if Cameron knows that the child that goes to the street to disgrace his father by stealing and taking the product he stole to hide in another father's house, and the father collected it and keep it for the child that stole, and you are coming to say the father of the child is irresponsible, you that he kept the stolen goods with, while he was bringing, did not say return it, and you are now claiming that the father is irresponsible for not training the child. You are irresponsible for taking custody of stolen goods. That's why I will come to the fact that he is being primitively complexant. British is being, their own system is primitively being complexant. For them to be taking stolen wealth and under the grants of real estate, are they saying they cannot set up a system that can ask us questions before they accept this fund and buy the real estate?
All right, thank you, Richard. Thank you for your contribution, Richard. I quickly go on this break. When we come back, we'll still talk about David Cameron's gift. Stay with us.
Chris Greening, former President of the Council and Leader of the House of Commons. Chris Bryant, who's the Shadow Leader of the House. Angus Roberts.
There's going to be because it's an anti-corruption summit, everything has to be open. So closed sessions.
To make deposit 50, lọ́jọ́ ní one to gbọ́dọ̀ establish we are not.
I think we'll be able to do that because.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, 1, 2. I will read out. Okay. Okay. Do you know that even according to Transparency International, the Transparency International report shows that Jonathan regime was not as corrupt as Obasanjo.
Yes.
Because they will look at the efforts they are making.
You can't hear Tony.
Hello. Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. Can you hear me?
Can you hear him? 1, 2,
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
It's good.
There's going to be because it's an anti-corruption summit, everything so there are no sort of closed door sessions. It's all in front of.
Welcome back. This is Journalist Hangout, and we're still looking at David Cameron's gift. And Tony Waje has just joined us now. Tony.
Good evening, viewers, and I'm sorry for.
Are you corrupt? Are you fantastically corrupt?
I'm not corrupt. Not to talk of fantastically. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm a good Nigerian.
What's your reaction to?
My reaction. My reaction. David Cameron didn't say anything that's unusual. We don't know before. Everybody knows. We talk about it ourselves. Even our president, anytime he travels, he has said it as different for us since he came to assume office. So what David Cameron said was like re-echoing our president, and based on what is on ground. Nigerians all over the world. How do I say? I've heard so much talks about it. No, he was not supposed to have said that. He has said it. We should take a lesson from it, not for him not to have said it. Are we not saying it? You just asked me now. Are we not saying it even in Nigeria here? We every day on TV, that's what we hear. They have representatives in these countries, so they know what's going on. I don't need to feed them with information such as if you come into the Nigerian airport, it will hit you on the face. You drive on the road, it's there. Just name it. So do you need anybody? He just said it. So why are we fighting? Why are we? I mean, why are we killing ourselves?
He said that. He said we are the two most corrupt in the world.
It may be, you know, okay, we are just trying to.
Nobody is saying that we are not corrupt.
We are trying to break the facts that I said. Nigeria. Let's just remove Afghanistan.
We can't remove. We can't remove.
No, we take our own.
Nigeria is corrupt.
He didn't just say we are corrupt.
He said we are among the two most corrupt. How can he say that? The record does not support that. People must say things that they can defend. That is the point.
Every day since the president assumed office, every time he travels, he's always saying that Nigerians are corrupt.
Did he say that we are
among the most corrupt in the world? He doesn't need to list the fact that he has demarcated us to that extent that if David Cameron speaks about it,
you feel the president has
yes.
You feel okay that is the president that give us out. That is not a true reflection of what is on ground, or the president is demarcating.
See, other world leaders come to Nigeria. I hardly hear them. Corruption is everywhere. Well, the way you perceive yourself outside is the way people are going to look at. We know you're corrupt already. But if you amplify it all the time, so if anybody says that,
Tony, how bad is our corruption?
It's totally bad. It's terribly bad.
So, and we should keep quiet.
We shouldn't keep quiet. So why are we talking about this? Because no, listen, you're getting it. You're mixing it.
How does he recover
You're saying we're talking
about
about you're asking about David Cameron.
Okay.
Why? And I said what he said is something things we talk, issues we discuss every day on a daily basis. Why we don't have stable electricity? Why we don't have good healthcare system? Why we don't have infrastructural growth in Nigeria? That's the basic. That is the reason why these things does not exist. Corruption. So somebody, because it's not in Nigeria, assuming David is from Nigeria, and if you just exactly use that same word, would you sit down here and talk about it?
It has nothing to do with him being a Nigerian. The point we are making is corrupt. And the day even Donald Trump accused us of corruption, did we come here to talk about it? But to say Nigeria and Afghanistan, to even put us in the same sentence with Afghanistan was very stupid. To say Nigeria and Afghanistan are two of the most corrupt in the world is absolute.
Okay, maybe with Afghanistan.
And I'm saying it, and I'm saying that there is no, even those who do measurement of corruption and all that, there is no one that you will find. Even in Africa, we are not among the worst 20.
Okay,
so the thing is, people.
Did I understand your point?
That is the point. We talk about corruption all the time.
I understand where you're coming from.
I condemn the civil servants all the time for corruption. Everyone knows that. None of us here supports corruption. But what we will not tolerate is for someone to say Nigeria is among the top 2 in the world, because that is absolute falsehood.
Okay.
And so
I get your point now.
So where did you derive that from?
That is it.
Where did you derive that from?
Nigeria is
I was watching David Cameron.
Based on what did you come to that conclusion?
When I watched David Cameron yesterday, when he was briefing the Queen, he appeared to me like somebody who was a bit tipsy, or like somebody who was not on top of his.
He can drink anything that he likes. As a president, he must be conscious of his actions.
What I'm saying, what I'm trying to say,
he must be conscious of his actions and his utterances.
What I'm trying to say, it tells you what the perception of these people about Nigeria. These are things they say within the bedroom.
If anyone, if your president,
it means we have to just
but we cannot dismiss it and just fold our hands. No, we can do a lot. We can do a lot. Are you saying that you think that they don't regret the action?
The president said doesn't need any apology.
It doesn't matter, but you have no right to put down a people in the way that man has done, and that is someone whose own dad was mentioned in the Panama Leaks. So is somebody who is ultra hypocritical. So that is the point. I'm saying that we do not even number among the worst 20 in Africa. Zimbabwe, where the old man who is their president was saying people should not try to be like us.
Nigeria.
Zimbabwe is among the 20 most corrupt in Africa. We are not even there. Some of these things, let me tell you, some of the things we say about our country are exaggerated. Yeah. I was looking at Transparency International report, and I saw clearly that even the world can see the progress that we've made in fighting corruption. That is why, go and check, during the, corruption during the Obasanjo years, compared to the Jonathan years, you will see clearly that Jonathan was better. Based on Transparency International, that is not, and they are not Nigerians. So, in the world now, top 10 in the world, number 1 is North Korea, number 2 Somalia, number 3 Sudan, number 4 Afghanistan, number 5 South Sudan. Number 6, Iraq. 7, Turkmenistan. 8, Uzbekistan. 9, Libya. And 10, Eritrea. So where does Nigeria feature in this?
So no, we are being lumped with Afghanistan
with people
number 4.
who are a lot better than us at
That's I'm happy
corruption.
when the Archbishop of Canterbury stepped in and said, no, but the man there right now seems to be making effort. When he's, and I'm not sure he's linking.
He's
it
making effort. He didn't say
administration.
seems to be making
Yeah,
effort.
no,
He's
no.
making effort. The world can
no.
see that he's making
no.
effort.
That is what I'm saying.
So
it's
Tony,
not
for
situating it with this, but the fact is that Nigeria is corrupt. You cannot sit down here and talk.
There is no country that is not corrupt.
No,
go and read, even British newspapers today, go and read the editorials condemning their own prime minister.
But we say it all the time now. Why are we making it? We say it all the time.
Hold on. I'm saying that British newspapers, they've written editorials today condemning Cameron.
Okay,
what Cameron did was wrong.
All right. All right,
He has no
Mojid.
right to say that.
Mojid, we are looking inwards now.
But before I go inwards,
okay,
I have a last word for Cameron. Cameron should know the limit of beer or wine it should take at a cocktail. It must.
Yes.
It probably was under the influence of what he was holding,
nobody
or
knows
what he was
drinking.
holding has an influence on it. But then Yoruba,
Maybe his drink was even spiked.
Maybe because the way he made that comment, and the queen was actually looking at him. It was
as
the
you
queen
just
was
a monkey tail.
Maybe so.
You know, people. You saw
honestly,
Olamide now the other
honestly,
day.
don't
He was
apart.
holding a glass. Well, clearly, he was inebriated that day when he was saying back to back, we want this and you know, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
So let us forgive him.
No, we'll forgive him.
Let us
He
forgive him.
He must be under the
But he
influence
must
of,
not talk like this about Nigeria again.
again.
Our beloved country.
It should.
So Mahmoud is calling us from Lagos.
Hello?
Hello, Mahmoud. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I just, Jide?
Yes, Mahmoud.
On this corruption issue, in fact, Cameron has said it all. Nigeria is corrupt.
We know.
The mind-boggling kind of things you hear every day, you wake up. It's killing.
We know.
We are not the most corrupt in the world, but it's just terrible. Our leaders, all these corrupt people need to be shot. Just, in fact, I don't know whether we are the most corrupt in the world. The fact from Nigerians have damaged this country that even at times you say yourself, you as a Nigerian, you feel ashamed of yourself. What kind of country is this? That somebody is stealing billions of naira? Whether we are number 1 or number 2 or number 3, in fact, we should remove our need from the most corrupt nation. All this mind-boggling kind of corruption is too much.
All right, thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you for your contribution. Even at that, what we are just showing there, what we're just showing there is that the problem, what we are just even saying here shows that we are patriotic Nigerians. First of all, we drive away the visitor, then we now face our own to Chidi. The truth of the matter is that the president campaigned all through this corruption, and the first in his calendar was this corruption is either Nigeria kills corruption or corruption will kill us. And we've been hearing these cases, and every day, there's no single day that you turn to the page of the newspaper and you won't see something mind-boggling.
It's a good thing that we are fighting corruption. I'm a student of history. The first recorded case of conviction for 419 in Nigeria was a white man. The first, and that was in 1945, the first reported case of someone convicted in Nigeria for 419 was a white man. So these people, they taught us some of the things that we do better than them at this
I think there was a time Obasanjo even said it, that
they taught us.
There's no Yoruba word. There's no,
that's what I'm saying. That
for native word that you can use for corruption in Nigeria.
Then we know that they are complicit. They must first admit their own guilt. The kind of money that Sani Abacha stole. Sani Abacha, the way he stole, Nigeria, I pray that Nigeria will never find a leader who will be as greedy as Sani Abacha. Amen. The way he stole money,
20-something years after.
As we speak, they are still recovering. And when they want to send money to us, they send in the region of $300 million.
450, 750.
As at that time.
That is after Obasanjo went into a deal with his family to concede, I think, $2 billion or so to them. legally we consider, because the case will have gone on for so long, so it was advised that, look, litigation abroad is extremely expensive, let's do a deal. And Nigeria conceded money to the family, but we are still discovering, and they are still sending money to us that
funny islands,
yes,
funny countries.
Jersey Islands, in fact, countries that you did not even know existed on the map. Luxembourg, all these funny small countries. He kept money in different, he knew where he could keep money, where he won't even pay tax on such monies. So we know that so many people have let Nigeria down when it comes to stealing money. We know, and I've always said it, that even under President Buhari, the looting is going on. I was saying it on this program the other day that, look, NNPC officials tell you, pay for a loading of petrol. You pay the correct price, and they will give you another account number where you pay another one. Somebody called on this program who probably didn't believe my story. Then, last week, in Adamawa State, DPR, the Department of Petroleum Resources, had a town hall meeting, the kind of stakeholders meeting, with independent marketers in Taraba and Adamawa State. And the same thing that I said on this program, that somebody thought I was lying, those marketers said, yes, this is what they do to us. They tell us to go and pay into an account. So when you pay into an account, Kachiku will now expect that fuel will be sold at official price. How? How will they make money when they've taken so much from them? So there is so much corruption in the land. Governor Dixon was saying it the other day that everyone knows that there is so much, that the problem of ghost workers is a big one. And that the best hotels in Bayelsa are owned by civil servants. Especially those working in the Treasury Department. So we have this problem. We know that we are corrupt. But the point is, for us, the spoken word is very, very important. Whatever comes out of your mouth must be something that you can defend. So in this case, Cameroon cannot defend this because it was not based on facts. But Nigeria is a corrupt nation. I would expect our country to purge itself of this this level of corruption.
Honestly, we all know that we have a serious problem of corruption. Just like we have a situation where the number 3 citizen is facing trial, everybody knows, is being confronted daily with facts, and is still there as number 3 as Senate President. I mean, what kind of law is he going to be making for us? I mean, it was very clear that they made some deposits of 45 million into your account in a day. I mean, 50 different ways, allotments. I mean, the bank, and whereas that one is even aside. The law says you cannot deposit more than $10,000 into a domiciliary account. And we have instances where $13 million will enter an account. And we have the Desani Fund, which was used in to rig elections.
Let me quickly, I'll come back to you, MJ. Let me take this call. Basi is calling us. Hello, Basi. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Yes. Can I speak?
Yes, Basi, go ahead.
Yeah, about David Cameron's gas. Yes, thank you. About this David Cameron's gas. David Cameron, like anybody else, yeah, as I was saying, David Cameron, like anybody else, can express their views. That's their view. I do agree that it was not politically correct for him to have made that statement. However, among the 10 countries listed, thank God that Nigeria is not part of as the most corrupt. How many of them have had access to the amount of finance and opportunity for development that Nigeria has had in the last 16 years? The truth is that corruption has distorted growth and development of our economy, and in fact strengthened government activities over the years to provide services aimed at making sure that there is good level of well-being for the people and poverty
Thank you, Basi.
minimum proportion.
Thank you, Basi. Contribution. Thank you. Noted your contribution. That was Basi from Lagos State. MJ, you want to touch now?
So, the speaker that spoke after President Muhammadu Buhari at that side talk of the anti-corruption, something said 150 billion naira has been taken out of Nigeria alone in the last 20 years. 150 billion naira.
Is it naira or dollars?
Sorry, 150 billion dollars. And where did these monies go? Europe, America. Most of it in Europe, and a large chunk of it in UK. One of the British papers reported, was it yesterday or it was actually Daily Mail. Properties owned by the late Alamesia and James Ibori. The two properties are worth about 30 million pounds.
30 million pounds?
Yes. I mean, that of Alamesia, we don't know what will happen to it because the man is dead now. I mean, there's a litigation on it. That of Ibori, I mean, it's still under litigation too. So we can go on and on and on. And it was also alleged, like I said earlier, Desiani bought a property for 12 million pounds, allegedly, at Hyde Park in UK. So they see all these things, they allow it to happen. When they know that the resources available to these characters cannot even buy a flat, but then they allow it to go.
Tony, your last take on this, quickly. Let's leave this.
My last take on this is Nigerians should take the message, what the Cameron said. I'm not going to...
should leave the messenger.
I'm not going to pick the holes in what he said. The fact is that we are corrupt. I don't care the position we presently attained. Let's take the message. Otherwise, we're just playing around in circles. The issue is this: Alamesi guy he mentioned here, James Ibori, is still in London jail, UK jail, with the wife. The case is still pending. He's going back anytime now. So these are empirical facts before them. The fact that we take the message from what I'm not going to kill myself because Cameroon said this. The fact remains that Nigeria is corrupt, and that is why we are presently here.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on now. Just when we thought the fuel scarcity problem had eased off across the country, Nigerians woke up yesterday to see long queues resurfacing at filling stations. There are indications that the federal government will soon deregulate the downstream sector and remove subsidy payments on petrol. This means Nigerians will now pay more than 87 naira per litre of petrol. The federal government says once this is done, fuel scarcity will be gone forever. Yesterday, Ibe Kachuku confirmed that in the next few days, the new policy would effectively take off. Is this what Nigerians deserve to get at this time? Mojid, let me start from you.
As I was coming in, I saw a tweet from DPR and PPPMC, PPPRA, saying that official price for petroleum products from tomorrow will be 114 naira per litre. And I think what
PPMC, that's the body.
PPPRA.
PPR, and the body empowered to.
Yes.
Wow.
That is from 140 naira. You see, wow. What that says is that, you see, when you want to take a decision, take it and don't gesticulate. Don't keep, don't delay. Don't keep Nigerians guessing. The moment the minister gave the hint that a new price regime would come on board, I mean, the marketers started hoarding. You will see that from tomorrow morning, there will be no queue at most of those filling stations. They will open and start and and you will see what
the old stock they got for 87 naira with immediate alacrity they will amend.
What Gide was saying earlier, what happened at the depot, they actually they call it tickets. They get the tickets at 77 naira per litre. They are supposed to make between 9 and 10 naira margin, but they would they'll get the ticket for 77 naira per liter. You go and pay between 20 and 30 naira per liter to one designated account. That's when they will release which means ex-depot you're already paying about 100 naira. So they will take it to far and the remote filling stations to go and start selling at 120, 130.
So 200 or 250.
200. So that's what's been happening.
They are in business to make money.
So I want to believe that, that tweet is correct and that the 140 is right. From tomorrow, you will see that most of the filling stations, this is the time there won't be any problem from their technicians, because if it's when there was a reduction from 87 naira to
they'll wait for like 2-3 days for their technician to rectify.
They will tell you it's not but I can tell you, even by now, if you go to some filling stations, you will see 140 naira.
Jide, will that, if MJ is saying 140 naira now, would that
which means,
how will I call it, in Adamawa, our viewers in Adamawa, in Borno State, in Yobe State?
It'll be higher.
Because I want to say, if it's deregulated, that means that 140 that is for Lagos must
no,
go.
It's not a removal of subsidy. One subsidy has been removed now. It means that you will.
It will be like diesel.
It means that you will pay. Yeah. That government will not subsidize it in any way. Yeah. So because as we speak, the government is subsidizing it. Yeah. In fact, some newspapers calculated the subsidy the government is paying at this time and came to the conclusion that they will eventually get us to pay 130 naira per liter. Yeah. But I'm surprised now that it is 140, based on what Moji said. So government is paying subsidy heavily on petroleum products now. So they've always, I think even the vice president said it in Abeokuta yesterday, that they will stop paying subsidy, especially when no allowance was made for subsidy in the budget. So it's really, it will make things really difficult for Nigerians, because 144 naira or 140 per liter, whichever way we look at it, whether the person is paying in Maiduguri or paying in Lagos, is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And if, in spite of that, we do not defeat the scarcity, then it's going to affect the government terribly.
Tony, President Buhari was quoted earlier as saying that he's still looking at what to do with subsidy because he doesn't want anything to impoverish the masses, and he has said it over and over again that he will not come up with policies that will affect that common man on the streets. This would definitely take toll. I was asking somebody yesterday that, did you notice the price of tomato? And that person was telling me that no, that there are some people that have started the tomato paste. Puree. No, they started manufacturing this tomato paste, and they are mopping up all the tomatoes from the northern.
That's not true. That's the reason. That's not true. We even ran a story about they are not taking. Those farmers are complaining that they mass produced, but the companies are not buying.
Now, where I'm going now, you know the spiral effect. Already there is inflation, hyperinflation everywhere. So if this thing, the slightest excuse, 140, a transporter, the motorways, the buses, the shuttles, anything, it will increase.
That's almost
market sellers.
Nigerians are going in
giving them legitimate grants.
Nigerians are going in for it big time, because if they're pegging it, for instance, at 160, as Jesus said,
140.
Some of them, for instance, you receive from NNPC, and I buy from you as a filling station or as a dealer. I'm not going to sell it at that same price. So even in Lagos, we should be ready to buy above 200.
That's the essence of deregulation. As you know, the price will not be regulated.
Yeah, that is it. And then we're going to be at the mercy of marketers. We're going back to where we are running away from, because they are going to dictate for us now. You know, they are going to dictate. Are you technical? You know.
Now, report just coming in say the Minister of Petroleum Resources, that is
Ibe
Kachuku, is saying above 145 per liter. That's, in short, the federal government has removed
subsidy.
Petroleum subsidy. Ibe Kachuku, while addressing State House correspondent in Abuja, say a while ago, says the PPRA has informed him that it will be announcing a new price band effective from May the 11th, 2016, and that the new price of PMS will not
be higher than
what is on ground. So the breaking news is that officially the federal government of Nigeria has just removed subsidy, and we're breaking it for you just on Journalist Hangouts.
Let me finish. See, the issue is this. January
I was working
2012, Ayo. January 2012, at least I witnessed it. I didn't read that books. I was on the ground there throughout. We went through this. And then before then, there were, the heat was there. And then, they went ahead and implemented. January 1st, 2012, was a New Year gift to Nigerians.
So President Buhari is giving us
2 days ago,
1 year anniversary gift.
2 days ago, Premium Times. 2 days ago, Premium Times revealed this. That is going to happen this week. And that this government is not going to announce it. That they are just going to throw it there. Just 2 days ago.
And you can see that.
And it just happened.
Kachiku is deflecting
it.
Exactly.
So the he has just been informed.
So it has nothing to do with him. It's not taking responsibility. That tells you that Nigerians should brace up for tougher times, for serious tougher times. Because I can tell you what's going on the street now. All those petroleum dealers, they are jubilating. And tomorrow, as we said earlier, their pumps,
they're going to adjust their pumps. So
I can assure they're going to buy for 200 bucks.
They won't wait till tomorrow. It will start now.
That was what they were waiting for.
And what's the PPRA to announce the new price regime?
Wow. I think what will happen is, but I want to believe.
Is almost 100%.
I want to believe this is not so. I want to believe that this government will not take us back to what happened with past governments, where they will push it to 140, and after strikes and what have you, they will now review it back to 120, and they will say they have cut 20 or 25. It won't be a very good strategy.
Okay, my producer is just informing me that the price regime will take place with immediate effect. That is today, 11. So as I'm walking out of the studio now, I go to the filling station. I'm likely to get it.
They're going to shut the filling station and readjust the pump. That's why I said,
do we have guarantees now that product will be available?
It's Kachiku that will answer that question.
Because increasing the price, increasing its price, is not the same thing as making the product available.
No, you see, what the increment in the price will do is it will make it
liberalize this.
No, it will make
business.
It will make it lucrative to those, because they are taking most of this into the borders. So it will reduce the
smuggling.
It will reduce smuggling in the interim.
Adverse effects is what I'm looking at here.
Well, it will have another, but then we won't. Like I've said this on this program before.
MJ, you can afford to buy it for 500 naira.
Don't go there. Don't just go there. Dangote said something yesterday. He said the refinery is building is the biggest in the world, and that by 2018, the networks of pipes that will connect the refinery that is building will be under the sea. That those that it will make fuel available for Nigerians. But at what cost, I don't know. But then I know it won't. It's not.
It will be higher than this.
No, it won't be higher. It won't be higher
refined.
Because it will be getting it. It will get crude oil from the Ajay. From Ajay.
From Lagos.
Because we are buying the cost of production, the landing cost, and everything has been hard.
That is it, and
the
cost of it. I see a situation when Dangote refinery goes full stream, we won't be paying more than 100 or maybe 80 naira per liter.
Jide,
for now,
1 year anniversary.
Yes,
we'll get there.
You've been given a 1 year
anniversary gift.
Anniversary gift.
I
want to see how Nigerians will react to this, because this is really shocking. I wasn't expecting it. After Kachiku put us through this torment, this serious since October last year, and it is climaxing in 145 naira per liter.
Tony, I'm sure the weather is hot. I'm sure you're not going to be putting on your generators 24 hours now.
He's looking at how much he's going to use to fill his
tank. I almost bought this.
A bigger picture.
70 liters, 80 liters. What you are going to be?
I'm just telling you, because it's going to affect even people as all this time past my neighbor. Everybody is going to feel the pinch now. Seriously, it's going to affect a lot of cost of transportation is going to change. Everything
and we would not have been in this mess if some people had built refineries.
Yeah. All right, tough times do not last. Tough times do not last, but tough people do.
God be with us.
Just that's the prayer we need right now, gentlemen. I want to thank you, Tony Waji, for being part of the program. We have to go to church. We need special intervention. And that's all on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another fantastic episode of the program. Fantastic. Watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now.